You know what I've noticed? People aren't taught how to cope.
Well, coping skills have something to do with admitting there's a problem. You know what I want to know? What do you think about the Red Pill Society?
The roles have reversed, and I don't know if that's a bad thing. But another note, who's raising our children?
I don't know, girl. I think the whole village moved. I am going to ask this for a friend. Why people only want to talk to God when things are bad?
Ooh, I got my hand up. Because they trifling.
I know that's right.
You know we got to take this to the mic.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good midnight in the morning. However you're listening, greetings and thank you again for tuning in to another episode. Today our topic, and Dr. Trixie is making me do all the talking since I brought the topic up. But I want definitely her thoughts and her input because, of course, I know my own thoughts and input. But a person I attended school with put something really, really interesting on Facebook. And it got a lot of feedback, good and bad, of course. But I thought it was an interesting topic, and I liked a lot of the things that a lot of the women had to say. And it wasn't really what I expected from a lot of women. But the topic was Black women are taught how to live without a man rather than to keep one. And he genuinely wanted thought. And a lot of women, to my, admiration and disbelief, agreed, which is a true topic. A true statement. When he wrote it, I was like, as a woman, I think I should be offended. But when it's the truth, it's the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. So that's how I feel on it. Yes, we are taught how to live without a man, straight up and down.
See, and I look at it different. I don't.
Of course. Go back to Trixie.
I look at that different. I don't think that we're taught how to live without a man, but I guess that's saying it all depends on how you look at it. Like, I would say that we're taught independence. We're taught how to be strong. Not that we don't need a man, but, we're taught how to take care of ourselves and not so much as live without a man. I kind of disagree with that. I don't think that was the intention of when I was raised. And even when I'm speaking to girls and talking with young ladies, it's not so much as, the thought pattern, I want to teach you how to live without a man. No, I want to teach you how to survive in this world. I want to teach you how to not so much as be helpless. And because you have some women that are, in my opinion, they're so, I need somebody. I need somebody to come and change my light bulb. I need somebody to do this. I need somebody to do that. And in my opinion, those are things that you can do yourself. And so I don't know. I don't look at it as though we're teaching them how to survive without a man. We're just teaching them how to be independent.
And that's where I think the line has blurred and went gray for us, especially as Black women. With our pool of eligible bachelors being the smallest, and people who are likely to choose us as a long-term mate being the smallest. Again, we are taught, and I'm not saying that somebody tells you, oh yeah, this is, I'm teaching you how to live your life without a man. No, those aren't the words that are chosen, but it's the actions and the attitudes that come behind that. I took it as if, we're taught that when things are going wrong or when things aren't right or when things aren't, because we are strong and because we are independent and because we are, that our first thing is to, I don't need you no ways. I can buy my own this. I can do this for myself. I can do that for myself, instead of how to maybe, and I say this in probably everybody I've ever dated, and the two people I've married to, one's dead, so he can't say anything, but definitely would have a lot to say because I am a vocal person, period. But a lot of times we as women, especially the more independent, stronger ones, the ones who forge their own way, we can get in a mindset to where I'm going to do me and be me, and this is me, instead of having a compromising attitude towards a relationship or a marriage or something like that. That's what I got out of it. Not that we're per se being taught to, oh yeah, you don't need a man. Nothing. We gonna teach you how to never need a man. But it's the attitudes and the things that are groomed early on. Like, no, you don't have to put up with anybody's anything. But yeah, in a relationship, there is some give and take. We're not taught those things that we're supposed to compromise on. So when we start hearing those kind of concepts. You have to, compromise in a relationship. When you're not taught what those things look like, the real things that you're supposed to be compromising on, those small things, as we begin to mature and progress, we begin to compromise on the things that we shouldn't compromise on instead of the things that, we were taught how to maintain a healthy relationship. Let me say that. If we were taught that, if we were shown that, then yeah, maybe we could continue to foster those things in our own relationship. But that's not what we're taught, and that's not what we see most times, because a great chunk of us don't see anyone in our lives in a long-lasting, healthy relationship anyway.
Okay. I mean, okay. I can go with, I can definitely go with.
Did I break her?
No, I can go with a lot of that. I'm just sitting back. I was sitting back thinking as you were talking, like, yeah, I've been told that I could be difficult, and because I have a strong opinion, or I can have a strong opinion of something. And I think what a lot of us definitely have been taught, well, no one would admit that they taught it to us, but letting, being submissive. Oh. And so maybe that's what they were saying in a nutshell, because a lot of African Americans, I'm going to say African Americans, I don't know about the other cultures, but I know a lot of African American women have a hard time being submissive, because that kind of goes back to those trust issues, or can I trust you to lead me in the right direction? And so, and not going off topic, but I think that's interchangeable with being taught how to live without a man or whatever. And again, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as more of a strength. We're taught our strength, and to know the value, know your worth, know what you stand for. So when this okie doke man comes to try to, maneuver his way into your life, you can have enough strength and enough common sense to recognize if he's worth your time or not. And so maybe that's it. When we're taught, we don't need a man, or what you're saying, because it's not that we're taught that we can live without one. It's just that I have so much value, I'm valued. And so therefore I don't need your games, and I can bring to the table as much as you can bring to the table. So what is it that you want me for? And so in that aspect, that is a very headstrong woman that it may come off like, we taught to not need a man, but that's not it. It's like, if I'm going to have you, then be worth my time. Don't come with your games. Don't come with this. Don't come with that. Come with something where we could join together and build something together. Don't try to take from me. And so maybe that's it. Maybe it's the headstrong woman. And there's a lot of headstrong women out there that do know their worth, and women are recognizing every day their worth. It's like women aren't taking the crap that they used to take from men back in the day. They're not sitting at home being the submissive wife and, I'm going to raise the kids while he goes to work or whatever, or I'm going to let him take care of the house. And because women are making just as much or more than men nowadays. And so we're breaking that glass ceiling, and we are learning our place where we don't have to be so dependent on a man. But again, maybe that's what we're taught. Maybe we're taught you don't need a man. You may want a man, but you don't need him. And if you do get a man, make sure he's worth your time.
But okay, and that's a true statement as far as our value and our worth and things like that. But when you say, and I'm of course being devil's advocate, because again, I'm anybody who knows me, especially anybody I've dated, already knows that some of this is not even. But playing devil's advocate, isn't that some of what men are saying the problem is? The fact that we don't depend on them, the fact that we do go get jobs and we are making money, and it's pretty much like I make as much money as you, I want to wear the pants. And for some men, especially the ones who that beat the chest, I'm the man of the house kind of, men, those, and I don't want to get off topic. So, but those kind of men, those are the ones who probably feel the most threatened by women who do not need them financially, because as for years, that was a way for them to control, of course, that household and what happens and the things that go on. But looking at how the household has kind of been torn apart since women have gone to work, in the beginning, yes, it was more of an independence and, it was a good thing. It helped the households. But nowadays, the way that things look now, it's more and more women who are, of course, moving up the corporate ladders, aren't having children, aren't really settling down. They're more career focused. The children are definitely not being raised better, because just look at society when I say that. Now, of course, our kids aren't the same, thing, but look at them as a whole. What the generations are doing and where they're going. Look at social media and the stuff that little kids are putting out there that, like, I'm appalled at my age, you know? So couldn't something be said about all of that? The fact that we are climbing those ladders and breaking those glass ceilings, and we've neglected our duties as women to be the nurturers, because that's what God really made us for. Because men are not it.
And I think, like you said, with society, and not even so much as speaking on women as well, men too. I mean, I hear a lot of men, we living in a time now where they go buy their blow up doll and, they're like, well, I got somebody that'll have sex with me whenever I want and won't talk back, and so I think it's the same. It's the way society is trying to guide and direct us and program our minds into thinking these things. And again, I don't necessarily think that way. I think that, you do get to a point where you don't want to be used, but, you do want to say, well, what are you bringing to the table? But does that really matter? That might be a whole different conversation.
Right. We might be doing two different ones right now, right?
Yeah, because does that really matter? And I think men, you said a man asked that question, and I think men are feeling more insecure about their place in the woman's life because they're getting to the point where they aren't feeling needed anymore. They aren't feeling like, well, she don't really need me, or she can do this by herself, or she can do that. Well, maybe she can, but does she want to?
Right.
And they're thinking of the financial, but still, even does that woman, she can be happy with him, and she can make all the money and know all